Multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired.
Now that you've reached the stage in your life where quality television is important, Nubian TV is a black network that speaks to your lifestyle. Nubian TV is the world's first digital network devoted to the upscale and political lifestyles of black people. Nubian TV's programming includes politics, travel, fashion, food, automotive, arts and culture, civil rights, music, and more. Watch now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, or watch globally at nubiantv.net. Nubian TV, it's what you want to watch.
Come with me if you want to live a more delicious life.
Oh, maybe we should get in the van.
In this world, we don't get to control much. The past, male pattern baldness.
Leggies.
Got one right now. The urge to puff that bubble wrap. But there is one thing we do get to choose every single day: what we eat. Welcome to the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment. We have everything you want, didn't know you wanted, and some things you didn't know were possible. Because we believe if you're not having fun, you're not living free. So come on, let's live a little.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money! Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here.
It's always a good time. That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good. Very good. Coming in hot, Jimmy, coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh.
Good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be there.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in. That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, Lara, Ginger.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Well, hello to you, and you. Good evening to all of you. It is day 10 of the Diddy trial, y'all. We got some breaking news as we come on the air. First of all, Cassie is in labor, so blessings, love, and support to that beautiful child coming into the world, to her and Alex Fine. But there is some other breaking news that you need to know about that could potentially relate to the Diddy trial. Higher is weighing, low is available, but either way, we are live on tour. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background, yes you do, and you hear that virtual tour music, yes you do. And then there is me. Hey everybody, welcome in, glad to have you here. So y'all, literally, this just came into my email inbox. This is crazy. This is crazy. Now, this does not mean that this is going to happen, okay? But I just wanted to point this out to y'all, okay? Hang on, let me get back to our show here. Hang on. Give me a moment. Give me a moment right here. From People Magazine, People.com, Todd and Julie Chrisley officially pardoned by President 47 in bank fraud and tax evasion case. The longtime couple who reported to prison in January 2023 have been pushing to appeal their case since their 2022 conviction. Okay. Todd and Julie Chrisley have officially been pardoned by President 47 on Tuesday, May 27th. The longtime couple reported to prison in January 2023 for tax evasion and bank fraud. The two rose to fame on USA Network's Chrisley Knows Best. Todd and Julie Chrisley have been officially pardoned in their ongoing case. On Tuesday, May 27th, that is today, President 47 announced that he had granted Todd 56 and Julie 52 full pardon. So that means that their sentence is over, and they do not have to pay back anything. Just like Carlos Watson, okay? The longtime couple were previously convicted of tax evasion and bank fraud in 2022 before reporting to prison in January 2023. 78 rather. Sorry, y'all. Also know that Todd and Drew were given a pretty harsh treatment. Based on what I'm hearing, it's a terrible thing, but it's a great thing because your parents are going to be free and clean. 47 said to the couple's children via a phone call. I hope we can do it tomorrow. I don't know them, but give them my regards and wish them a good luck. Todd and Julie have been appealing their case since being sentenced in November 2022. This is a developing story. So you're probably wondering, how does this relate to the Diddy trial? People have been saying that Diddy may get off because of a pardon. We don't know that to be sure, but hey, listen, Carlos Watson, Todd and Julie Chrisley Anything can happen. With that being said, let's get to the game, doing what we do right from this space right here and right now. It's time for your updates on day 10 of the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Here we go. Sean Diddy Combs trial live updates. Ex-assistant says Combs want to ill Kid Cudi over cast relationship. Combs faces 5 criminal counts in total, including 2 of sex trafficking, and has denied all of the allegations. What to know about the sex trafficking trial? Sean Combs, former assistant Capricorn Clark, took the stand today. Unnamed members of the Los Angeles Police Department and the Los Angeles Fire Department were also set to testify, but were moved to tomorrow after Clark's written testimony took the full day. Clark testified about having her life repeatedly threatened by Combs and how he told her he wanted to ill rapper Kid Cudi. She detailed being taken by an enraged pal wielding Combs to break into Kid Cudi's home. Clark also says she witnessed Combs viciously beating Cassie Ventura over her relationship with Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi, legally known as Scott Cudi, testified last week about his relationship with Ventura and the abusive nature of her relationship with Combs. Combs faces 5 criminal counts, 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs has denied the allegations against him. This live blog may include graphic descriptions of sexual violence. For resources on sexual assault, call the Sexual Assault Hotline. Sign up for the Diddy on Trial newsletter for key developments and analysis, and of course, listen to Dateline's nightly podcast. There it is. There. Thank you, NBC News. How this show works here is I give you the day that was. So it used to be, I think, at the beginning of the trial, it would be from 9 to 5, but now court ends basically around 3 o'clock every day, okay? So here we go. Capricorn Clark finishes testimony. Court is adjourned. Clark left the witness stand, and court is adjourned for the day. Prosecutors said they believe they will be able to get through their list of witnesses for tomorrow, which includes members of the Los Angeles Police and Fire Departments. For those of you who are wondering, why is the LA Police and Fire Departments going to be on the stand? Because if you remember, there was a raid in Miami and there was a raid in Los Angeles. Okay. Combs said they'd all be hurt if police found out about Kid Cudi incident. Capricorn Clark testifies. Clark told the court she went with Combs on the day of the break-in at Kid Cudi's house because she felt she could be hurt if she refused. She said Combs had a pal throughout the entire incident. It was visible to her. Clark also testified that she did report the situation to the police because Combs told her that if the police found out about the break-in at Kid Cudi's home, they would all be hurt. Ooh, my lord. Combs held all the power over Capricorn Clark, preventing her from finding work. She says Clark testified that she had no choice but to go back working for Combs and even asked for his forgiveness since he held all the power. The defense showed how Clark seemed keen on working for Combs even after the alleged kidnapping and threats against her, but on redirect examination by the government, Clark told jurors she had no choice but to seek employment with Combs again, just to show the entertainment industry that she was valuable and not disposable. He holds all the power as it relates to me, she explained. Clark later added, I just want to work and provide for my son. So if we remember, right, Diddy was in charge of Cassie's career, where she went, who she hanged out with, how she dressed, and not to mention her career, right? So that is not uncommon testimony that we have heard, right? So not surprised by what Capricorn Clark said. And then also, too, we know that Diddy carries heat, right? Because we know about the Molotov cocktail. By the way, there's an update on that story. We'll get to that a little bit later, okay? Yes, indeed. So not surprised by this testimony so far. Right here, Capricorn Clark says she asked Combs for forgiveness, breaks down, sobbing, talking about Cassie. Defense attorney Mark Effelio entered an email Clark sent to Combs in September 2014 into evidence where Clark asked for his forgiveness. The email was sent 2 years after Combs fired her and about 2 years before she returned to work for him again. Again, in the email, Clark wrote that hopefully Combs will forgive her soon and that she felt like he forgave everyone but her. Other emails were also brought up in court, including one from months later where Clark said she wanted to be his friend again. Clark seemed angry with Cassie Ventura, saying she was clearly never a real friend. Clark broke down, sobbing on the witness stand, saying the situation was complicated for her and that she felt she was Ventura's protector. She apologized to the judge for her crying, but Judge Aaron Surian assured her that she didn't need to be sorry. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I get why she said, she was sorry, but also, too, this is very heavy testimony, right? Because if you think about it, it's been years for any of these witnesses to relive that trauma mentally. So for those of you saying, well, Captain Clark, if you knew something, why didn't you say something? What would you do if you were Capricorn Clark? I don't know why I keep calling Captain Clark, but what would you do if you were in that situation? If you were Capricorn Clark, what would you do in that situation? Knowing that he had the power to make your career have a rise or demise, knowing that he could cut you off of family members, cut your money off, what would you do in that situation, right? So, and I'm sure she had conflicting feelings, right, of that she really wanted to defend Cassie, but to keep the check, Capricorn Clark had to be an enemy to Cassie, right? So, Capricorn Clark dodged Los Angeles Fire Department investigators on Kid Cudi car fire. The one-time Combs assistant admitted that she did help the Los Angeles fire investigators in their probe of Kid Cudi's car getting torched. When a Los Angeles Fire Department representative called her in the summer of 2012, Clark hung up on the investigator and never called back. Clark said she simply did not want to have anything to do with this any longer. But little did she know, she will be called to the stand in a federal case that is going to determine the rise or demise of her former boss. Capricorn Clark says Kid Cudi was on speakerphone when she tried to warn Cassie. He's in my house. Clark testified that she had to tip off Cassie Ventura that Combs was armed and hunting for Kid Cudi at his house. On the morning, Combs sought to confront Kid Cudi. Clark says she managed to sneak in a call to Ventura on her burner phone, and Ventura just happened to be with the rival rapper at that moment, the witness said. Clark says she could hear Kid Cudi on speakerphone reacting to this threat in the background, asking, "He's in my house." Yeah, I know. I mean, at least Capricorn Clark was able to get in that call, and I'm sure that she is protected by the government because Diddy and his family are taking mental notes of everybody who's getting on that stand, who their family members are, who their friends are, what positions they're trying to apply for, all that stuff, right? So, and plus much more. Capricorn Clark continued doing business with Combs after she says she was kidnapped. The defense presented Clark with emails from her work at Bad Boy Records from January 2012, just 3 weeks after she says she was kidnapped by Combs. When asked if she can continue conducting business with Combs even after telling the jury she was kidnapped with threat with murder, Clark responded yes. So I get what the defense is trying to do here by saying that, okay, well, if he kidnapped you, why would you go back to him? So you were a willing participant. No. We heard what Capricorn Clark said, right? That Diddy held all the power, so she really had no other choice, right? So Cassie got lion's share of Bad Boy resources, Capricorn Clark says. The career of Combs' girlfriend was an important company goal between 2007 and 2010, Clark said. In that time, Ventura seemed to receive the lion's share of Bad Boy Records resources. Clark testified, from my perspective, Clark testified the lion's share of Bad Boy was on Cassie in that first block of time. Capricorn Clark says Cassie Ventura is no Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey. Clark implied that Ventura had talent, but not quite to Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey levels. When defense pushed Clark to evaluate Ventura's singing ability, what the fuck does that have to do with the trial? Are you sick? Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'ma just do this every time because, like, really, the defense is desperate for a win. Desperate for a win. Okay, now I can't do this. This is ridiculous. Really? Her singing ability versus your client Molly Whoppin Cassidy in a hotel in 2016. Okay. Y'all the smart.
With Mochi Health, I've lost 30 pounds. I have no desire to be skinny. I love being a plus size girl. I just wanted to be healthier for me. When my grandmother died, I knew that diabetes was hereditary. That was my wake-up call.
For these medications, they are designed for long-term use.
With Mochi Health, I never feel alone. It's about progress, not perfection. I've lost 30 pounds and I'm more me. Check out joinmochi.com.
This is the type of indictment you would expect from someone in the mafia.
I don't know that I could keep him off the stand. He is very eager to tell his story.
They're going to show that video over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their stories.
His reputation is over.
The United States government, they start making this case as a takedown of a successful black man.
TMZ presents The Downfall of Diddy, The Indictment, now streaming on Tubi.
They call them freak-offs. But, you know, back when I was a kid in the late 70s, they were called threesomes.
If these are genuinely threesomes, how do you explain 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
I don't know where the number 1,000 came.
The U.S. attorney said it.
I can't imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way.
2 more times, okay? 2 more times. Just 2 more times.
Can't imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. Imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way.
And you asked about Ventura's singing ability. What the fuck does that have to do with this trial? Let's go back up to the top for a bit. What does Cassie's singing have to do with 5 criminal counts that Combs is facing? 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. What does Cassie's singing ability have to do with transportation to engage in prostitution? What does Cassie's singing ability have to do with sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion? And what does it have to do with a racketeering conspiracy? Really? What does it have to do with it? Not a damn thing. You asked about her singing ability? Y'all are desperate for a win. Oh my Lord. And Diddy, this is the team that you assembled. My Lord Jesus. My Lord Jesus, you dumb fuck. And so is your team. That make no damn sense. When the defense pushed Clark to evaluate Ventura's singing ability, the witness said she wasn't a Whitney or Mariah level talent, but more of a studio artist. Clark says she's seen Ventura live a handful of times in Combs. Then girlfriend might have underperformed due to nerves. Or maybe she was being fucking abused. Maybe. What a shocking concept. She also said that around 2016 that she thought that drug use was taking a toll on Ventura's career. Oh, I don't know, because of the freak-offs? Have we forgotten UTI infections, mouth sores, and gastrointestinal problems? That Diddy wanted her to keep going during the freak-offs to the point where her body rejected antibiotics? Really? That's what we're doing. Okay. All right. We have some smart people in this trial, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed, we do. Said no one ever. Combs tried to chase Kid Cudi in car before police sirens dissuaded him. So, if you all remember when Kid Cudi took the stand, right? Kid Cudi and P. Diddy met for a meeting, and Kid Cudi said, "I know what you did with the Molotov cocktail," right? And they said, "I don't know what you're talking about." Only to then find out from your former assistant that you tried to chase Kid Cudi in a car before police sirens dissuaded you. But yet your team just asked your former assistant about Cassie's singing ability. My Lord Jesus. Earlier in her direct testimony, Clark offered new details on Combs' attempt to confront Kid Cudi in December 2011, and why Combs left. She told the court that after she called Cassie Ventura to let her know Combs broke into Kid Cudi's home, Combs got into the car and left the residence. They will drive away from the home when Combs spotted Kid Cudi traveling in another direction, Clark said. Combs chased Kid Cudi in the vehicle until he heard sirens heading in the direction of Kid Cudi's home. When Clark told the court that Combs pulled himself together and drove to a stop at a club on Sunset Boulevard. I wonder if they know the officer that went over to Kid Cudi's house. Will they be on the stand tomorrow to talk about that in addition to the way that happened at your house? Oh, Diddy, so damn smart. Said no one up. Prosecution said it's ahead of schedule and could finish a week early. The government's lead prosecutor, Maureen Comey, asked Serenity if lunches could go on longer than the currently allotted half hour. The judge asked if that would slow the jury getting all the evidence by his goal of July 4th, but Comey said testimony has been moving ahead of schedule. Comey predicted the government would rest after 5 weeks rather than 6, as earlier planned. So it seems like the prosecution has us in the bag. Listen, I'm like this. Just because we are at game 5 right now doesn't mean that game 6 and 7 ain't coming down the line. I say take all the time you need to whoop this motherfucker's ass mentally. Take this time to whoop that defense team's motherfucking ass mentally. Take that time to whoop ass on everybody defending Diddy mentally. Okay? Mollywop them like Diddy mollywopped Cassie. Okay? Just keep it a buck. And what happened with that video was fucked up. And the fact that people are even defending that video is beyond disgusting to me. When that video came out, I was just, bruh, are you serious? And not to mention, too, for everybody saying that Cassie was not a victim, y'all, the lawsuit was settled the next day. Okay? It was settled the next day. And then his lawyer came out and said, and I quote, right, that just because this happened doesn't mean that he admitted anything. Sir, you coming out and saying that on Diddy's behalf means that something in the buttermilk ain't clean, to use Phaedra Park's words. You know what that lawyer's mindset was that day?
It's not just feeding the hungry only on Thanksgiving. It's an everyday situation. You know what I mean? This is 265 days a year.
That is funny. 265 days? Where the hell that bitch live at?
It's not.
I mean, really? This defense team has a 265-day-a-year mindset. Like, are you serious? And I guess the question I would have for the defense team, would you let, and I think this was asked of R. Kelly's, representative at the time. I think Gayle King asked this to him. Would you allow R. Kelly to babysit your daughters? And the guy said no. So I would just ask the defense team, would you allow P. Diddy around your children and family members? I'm just asking questions. Would you allow him around your family members? Those are the questions I have, right? Because, like I said, something in y'all mind has to not be in alignment in your equilibrium. It just has to be, okay? It just has to be. It just has to be. Oh, my Lord Jesus. Judge declares court in recess for lunch. U.S. District Judge Aaron Sumerian dismissed jurors until 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when they'll return for more cross-examination of Capricorn Clark. The former assistant has given detailed testimony about Combs and his relationships with Ventura and employees of the rapper's vast business interests. Capricorn Clark cries on stand, recalling opportunity to work with Combs. Clark began to cry under cross-examination after she was asked about working hard for Combs, whether she believed in the work she was doing. Combs' former employee told the court that she learned a lot from Combs, especially as someone who did not finish her college education. She said she considered it another form of business school. Child, well, look at how that business school education turned out for you. You in the middle of a federal trial. Clark said that Combs was tenacious and broke glass ceilings. I mean, he did break a lot of glass. I will say that. And he was very tenacious at taking advantage of his domain, for sure. And he did not give a damn about ceilings at all, because there had to be deep cleanings after every hotel room he used. So, yeah, he definitely broke glass ceilings, and he was definitely tenacious at being a waste of fucking life that his mother should have swallowed. Oh, did I say that out loud? My bad. I'm so sorry. Did I offend you or your sensibilities? You know, are they triggered? Are you big mad? I don't care. Let's roll on. Here's Capricorn Clark crying there on the stand. Lie detector test went on for roughly 8 hours a day, Capricorn Clark says. Clark told the court that she was locked up in an office around 40 hours while being subjected to lie detector tests about missing jewelry. So this is the same missing jewelry that David Phillip, I think, if I'm not mistaken, also got questioned on. Y'all remember when David Phillip, I think, Diddy's assistant, was also asked about missing jewelry. So I think this was under the same circumstances, right? Right here, she testified under cross-examination that she was put up to the polygraph at about 10 a.m. and she would not be finished until about 5 or 6 p.m. Clark says she would take the test. It would be taken for review. She would keep taking the test until Combs cleared her 5 days later. Really, bro? Really? You made her be under a lie detector test for a full work week, Monday through Friday. Motherfucker, let's put you on a lie detector test. Right now. In this trial. Child. I simply cannot. Asked by defense attorney Mark Feller whether she reported to Human Resources that she was locked in the building while she took a lie detector test over the course of 5 days, Clark said she did not. Capricorn Clark calls the Combs-Cassidy relationship toxic. Combs and Cassidy Ventura would have both benefited from splitting up long before they did. The witness said, yes, they were toxic as a couple. Clark said during cross-examination by defense lawyer Mark Feller, the defense has sought to play down violence inflicted on Ventura by Combs by implying that troubling acts within the relationship were consensual and motivated by jealousy. But see, that's been broken down in this trial, because if we all remember, Diddy said that he loves the swinger lifestyle and that they were able to exchange and swap out partners. So if that's the lifestyle, right, you can't be jealous when you gave permission, right? And not to mention, too, the beatings were consensual. I'm just asking a question. Combs fired Capricorn Clark over Kid Cudi he said he would make her ill herself. I'm gonna read that 2 more times. Actually, let me zoom in on it right here. Right here. Combs fired Capricorn Clark over Kid Cudi, said he would make her ill herself. She says Combs fired Capricorn Clark over Kid Cudi, said he would make her ill herself. Okay. Combs fired Clark, she said, for her allegedly failing to inform him about Cassie Ventura dating Kid Cudi. I lost everything, Clark said, ticking off a list of important benefits such as health insurance and a 401k. Clark said Combs gave her a 30-day notice in 2012. He said, I would never work again, and all these people were my friends, and he would make me ill myself. Clark came back to Combs' World 2016, working as Ventura's creative director. You know, it really would be quite interesting if that audio got out somehow. I'm just saying. I mean, the video with Diddy, Molly, Wop, and Cassie got out somehow, right? I'm just connecting dots over here. By the way, shout out to Make It Make Sense. Love that brother. Like, comment, share, subscribe to that good brother over there. Combs told Capricorn Clark that he should ill her and Cassie. Let me just zoom in and read that again. Combs told Capricorn Clark that he should ill her and Cassie, Clark testifies. Combs told Capricorn Clark that he should ill her and Cassie, Clark testifies. Combs questioned Clark about how much she knew regarding Cassie Ventura's relationship with Kid Cudi. Clark told the court he was angry and upset, wanting to know about when Clark knew about the affair, why she didn't tell him about it, Clark testified. So you mean to tell me you want a grown-ass woman to tell you about another grown-ass woman's business? When you were doing what you were doing, did you tell any of your friends about your grown-ass business that you were doing as a grown-ass man or not? See, you can't ask for energy out of somebody else that you're not giving your damn self. Then Combs told her, I should kill you bitches. I should kill you bitches. I should kill you bitches. That's what Capricorn Clark said. Okay, let's roll on. Capricorn Clark says she called Cassie's mom when no one on Combs' team tried to stop the beating. In the aftermath of the Kid Cudi incident, Combs brutally beat and kicked Cassie Ventura, prompting Clark to make a desperate call to Ventura's mother. The witness said, with no one in Combs' inner circle would step in to stop the beating, Clark said she had no other option but to call Ventura. Clark recalled telling the elder Ventura, he's being the ish out of your guard. I am in over my head. Please help her. I can't call the police, but you can. And that was a very dangerous call because that could have ended Capricorn Clark's life, right? So, but it seems like Capricorn Clark, she was in Diddy's world so deep she couldn't find her center, but she had moments of having a center throughout her employment. So I have to give Capricorn Clark her love, grace, and space here for this here. Combs beat Cassie 100% full force after Kid Cudi break, and Capricorn Clark says, let me zoom in here and say that 2 more times. Combs beat Cassie 100% full force after Kid Cudi break, and Capricorn Clark says. Combs beat Cassie 100% full force after Kid Cudi break, and Capricorn Clark says. Combs repeatedly kicked and beat Cassie Ventura as he wore only a robe and underwear. It's very interesting. Robe and underwear. You mean something like this?
Story. They're going to show that video over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their stories.
His reputation.
Over and over and over about what happens to women that video over and over and over.
You mean something like that? Okay. Let's roll on. After she arrived at his home following the Kid Cudi break-in, Clark tearfully testified. Clark told the court that Combs came at Cassie 100% full force, repeatedly kicking his former girlfriend while she crouched more and more into a fetal position. Once again, to something like this.
They're going to show that video over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their story. They're going to show that video over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their stories.
His story.
They're going to show that video over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their stories.
Rolling on. Cassie was crying quietly as Combs kicked her in the back over and over again. I'll just show the video again. I really don't mind because it's just like people want to see what they want to see. But here it is.
Show that video over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their stories. Video over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their stories. Over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their stories.
Clark said Combs' former employee struggled to speak while recounting the incident to the court, testifying that Cassie was only a few feet away from her at the time. Clark said Combs told her if she intervened that he would attack her next. She added that no one on Combs' security team intervened to stop the attack. Let's roll on. Capricorn Clark says she called Cassie while Combs broke into Kid Cudi's home. Clark told the court that she was sitting in a car at Kid Cudi's home when Combs accessed the main door of the rapper's property. She called Cassie Control from the car and told her that Combs came to Cudi's home to ill the rapper. Clark testified. She said that Combs came back to the car and asked to see her phone, calling the last number on the call history. Clark said Combs ordered her to call Cassie, let her know that Combs had her and that he wasn't going to let Clark go until Cassie came. Cassie calmly agreed. Clark testified and Clark went to pick her up. They returned together to Combs' home, where Combs allegedly told them not to speak to police and urged them to convince Cudi to not tell police he was involved. But yet you had a meeting with Kid Cudi, though, and said, I don't know what you're talking about. But yet you convinced Cassie Ventura and Capricorn Clark to try to get Cudi convinced to not tell the police that he was involved. Once again, the smart one. Get dressed. We're going to ill Miss Cudi. Capricorn Clark says Combs was enraged about Kid Cudi. Let me just say that two more times. Get dressed. We're going to go ill Miss Cudi. Capricorn Clark says Combs was enraged about Kid Cudi. Get dressed. We're going to ill Miss Cudi. Capricorn Clark says Combs was enraged about Kid Cudi. Clark recalled the morning of December 22nd, 2011, when Combs banged on her apartment door as her enraged boss said that they were going to confront Kid Cudi, real name Scott Mescudi. Clark said Combs was visibly furious, his pants splitting at the crotch as he paced back and forth with a firearm. He just said, get dressed, we're going to ill Miss Cudi. Clark testified the pal was in his hand. The witness's testimony could be crucial to the government's racketeering case. Prosecutors can show Combs marshaling his company resources for use in a criminal action. Kid Cudi had earlier testified to Combs' rage when he learned that Ventura was seeking him. So everybody still believing that Cassie wasn't the victim? Okay, John. Okay, let's roll on. Capricorn Clark said that Cassie, Dane Kid Cudi would get us all ill, urged her to get burner phone. The burner phone that Cassie Ventura used to contact Scott Mescudi, also known as Kid Cudi, was purchased at Clark's urging, she told the court. She said that she picked up Cassie one day and Cassie asked Kid Cudi to join them, which Clark thought was a bad idea. Clark testified that she was concerned that Cassie was going to text her on a phone paid for by Combs, so that wasn't a good idea. Clark said Clark rather took Cassie to Best Buy to buy a new phone because she feared that Cassie was going to get us all ill, Clark testified. So this is Capricorn Clark here. Capricorn Clark breaks down in tears, saying Combs lunged at her, tried to shove her out of home. Clark recalled a 2006 incident at Combs' Miami home when he forcefully shoved her. The witness said Capricorn Clark used her hands in a shoving motion when described how an enraged Combs allegedly pushed her around while saying, "If you hate here, get the uck out of my house." That was crossing my boundary, a cheerful Clark told jurors of the incident. Capricorn Clark says she was asked to obtain drugs for Combs. By the way, before I get into that, going back to this, y'all remember when Don Richard talked about the skillet incident with Cassie? That was inside Shonda Combs' home. Just connecting the dots for you. Let's roll on. Capricorn Clark says she was asked to obtain drugs for Combs. There were times when Combs asked Clark to obtain drugs on his behalf, including illicit substances as well as prescription drug medication, she testified. Clark told the court while Combs usually obtained drugs on his own, she was sometimes asked to get substances for him. She said Combs once asked her to get him Coca-Cola, not the drink, obviously, while they were in the south of France in 2006. He also asked her to get prescription drugs in her name and that he would pay for it, Clark said. My Lord Jesus. Combs commanded Cassie to move at his direction in front of other women, Capricorn Clark says. Combs once forced Cassie Ventura to obediently move at his command in front of other women. Clark says she recalled a 2010 interaction with Combs at his Los Angeles home when he questioned why she didn't have a boyfriend. That's when Combs summoned a girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, to the room and had her sit down, stand up, and turn around, command, Clark said. Then Combs allegedly added that you just don't want to do that. That's why you don't have a man. Really? Really, bro? You know, I'll just say this. If Diddy was an option for a husband, thank God women are single. Because honestly, it's best to stay by yourself than be with a piece of shit bastard like Diddy. What? Just saying. Like, really? That to define your worth as having somebody or not, that's just stupid as fuck. Let's roll on. Combs hotel cell required drugs, baby oil, and IV drips. Y'all remember what the government, claimed, right? 25 bottles of baby oil, Astroglide bottles, some peak Coca-Cola, Louis Vuitton, medicine bag or drug bag, if you will, and more, of course. Clark's part of Clark's job, right, was to set up hotel rooms for Combs, which is also what Daniel Phillip also said as well, which she told the court required drugs and an intravenous drip. She said she would unpack his clothing and make sure his personal belongings were in place, which included baby oil and a small camera. Part of the setup required a toiletry bag with drugs such as ecstasy. Clark said Combs also required IV drips for himself and Cassie, which he said contained something similar to serotonin supplements and would help them recover from the drug use. My Lord Jesus. Working for Combs was 24/7 stress and led to hair loss, Capricorn Clark says. Clark lost hair and barely sleep due to the 24-hour stress of her job for Combs. The pharmacist said for a $55,000 salary, $55,000, what the hell? She said she regularly worked from 7 a.m. to 4 a.m. So 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7. So you only got 3 hours of sleep. Damn. That's a damn shame. Doing everything from research to fetching, dry cleaning, and food. The witness said she even suffered stress-related alopecia, the clinical term for hair loss due to her boss's nonstop demands. Capricorn Clark said she was subjected to days of lie detector tests after 3 pieces of jewelry were missing. Clark told the court she was told she wasn't free to leave until she passed a lie detector test. The first test was inconclusive, and she was threatened again with being thrown into the East River by the man administering polygraph. What? Now, for those of you who don't know, Diddy actually threatened Wendy Williams and got her fired off there, but also to threaten the editor-in-chief of Vibe magazine. Yeah. So, oh my God, I cannot. She was brought home and forced back the next day, saying she was told by the home security that she was not free to leave until she was cleared of any wrongdoing. It took 5 days to take the test. She said she did not want to take the test, but she wanted to get through the ordeal and prove her innocence. Someone threatened to throw Captain Clark into the East River over missing jewelry, she says. Clark told the court that Combs once accused her of stealing 3 pieces of high-end jewelry that had been given on loan, and subjected her to a lie detector test when it went missing. She testified that Combs had tasked her with bringing the jewelry to Teterboro Airport, but she didn't realize the items were gone until they were at the airport. Clark told the court that she was brought to an office she didn't recognize in New York City after being questioned for hours on the matter. A heavy-set man on the 6th floor of the building told her she was there to take a lie detector test, and that if she failed, he would throw her into the East River, she said. George Kaplan, another former assistant who worked for Combs, testified last week that he was also ordered to take a lie detector test on 2 different occasions during his employment. That's the person. Okay. George Kaplan. I thought it was Daniel Phillip. I think he's had, 3 personal assistants that have taken the stand, but yes, George Kaplan was the one, not that. But I'm sure Daniel Phillip also had to take a lie detector test too. Combs said, "I like pals," while discussing issues with 50 Cent, Capricorn Clark says. The defendant once made a vague threat regarding 50 Cent, according to Clark. After Combs' 50 Cent finished doing press for MTV, the defendant told his manager that he was having an issue with the rapper real name, Curtis Jackson, Clark said. Combs punctuated the chat with, "I like pals," the witness said. Okay, so I remember Combs had Make the Band, and then 50 Cent, I can't remember what his show was on MTV, but yeah. Capricorn Clark says Combs threatened to ill her while talking about Suge Knight. Yeah, Combs' former employee described how she was once in fear for her life after he threatened to ill her while discussing Suge Knight. Clark, Combs, and Combs' security, Uncle Paulie, were walking through Central Park in New York City when Combs brought up Knight. Clark described Combs' calm demeanor and expressing his anger over learning that she had worked for the Death Row Records kingpin. When the prosecution asked Clark if she took this threat as serious, she said very serious. Bruh, you're not the only person in rap, so if she worked for LL Cool J, would you have the same energy? Bruh, stop it. You looking weak as fuck. Capricorn Clark called to the witness stand. Capricorn Clark, Combs' former employee, has been called to testify about the government. Clark said she started Bad Boy Records in 2004 and worked for Combs until 2020. She also served as casting and creative director until 2018, she told the court. Court is in session. Court is now in session, marking the 10th day of Combs' trial. Now, for those of you who are wondering, well, wait a minute, why wasn't there court Monday and Friday? It was because of Memorial Day weekend, so that is why. Sean Combs has arrived at court. Sean Combs has arrived at court hugging one of his defense attorneys, Terry Tenny Garagos as we prepare to begin week 3. Experts, prosecution still has work to do to show Combs led criminal enterprise. While Sean Combs' federal trial has been rife with drama, cringe, and comments, lawyers not involved in the case said prosecutors have yet to prove that the music mogul is guilty of racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking. Combs has pled not guilty to 1 count racketeering conspiracy and 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. About a dozen people have taken the stand so far in the trial, which will enter its 3rd week today. I'm not seeing the development of racketeering enterprise. Veteran criminal defense attorney Tama Beth Goodman said, "I am not seeing the thread that creates enterprise with a unified purpose." Read the full story here of this link right here. Here's what happened Thursday. On Thursday, when the trial was last in session, rapper Kid Cudi, whose real name is Scott Mescudi, testified about his relationship with Cassie Ventura and the abusive nature of her relationship with Sean Combs. Cudi also testified that his car was torched from a Molotov cocktail after his relationship with Ventura ended. He suspected Combs was involved. He said he and Ventura stopped seeing each other, knowing the drama was too out of hand, and to give her some space. Combs' former assistant George Kaplan also returned to the stand Thursday. He described his duties, which include cleaning up liquor bottles and baby oil from hotel rooms. Excuse me. Judge and lawyers still targeting the 4th of July for an end of trial. Today will mark the 10th day of testimony, and lawyers and the judge are cautiously optimistic about meeting their goal of turning this case over to jurors by the 4th of July. As long as the defense stays to a week, I think that's July 4th fair. Lead prosecutor Maureen Coleman told the judge just before adjournment last week the case got off to a slow start with the extended questioning of the defendant's former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, but the pace has been picking up. Capricorn Clark, Combs' former assistant, expected to testify. Capricorn Clark, a former assistant of defendant Sean Combs, and personnel from the Los Angeles Police and Fire Department said to take the witness stand today. Prosecutors have said Clark might be called to testify about what she saw or knows about alleged break-in by Combs at Kid Cudi's home in late 2011. And that is your day 10 recap of the Diddy trial right there. So, with that being said, everybody, here's a video from here we go here.
The 3rd week of testimony in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial has resumed after the holiday break. Federal prosecutors called Combs' former assistant to the stand.
She told the jury that at one point Combs woke up an employee in the middle of the night, forced her at gunpoint to take Combs and his bodyguard to the home of a man who Ventura had been dating. ABC's Rena Roy has more. She's outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Rena.
Yeah, David and Tanya, Capricorn Clark is on the stand telling jurors about 2 different times that she says she was held against her will while working for Sean Diddy Combs. And prosecutors are hoping that this kind of testimony proves the kidnapping element of the racketeering conspiracy charge against Combs. Capricorn Clark taking the stand today in the federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Clark was once an assistant to Combs. Clark testifying about being petrified when she was held against her will in 2004 and forced to take a lie detector test about some missing jewelry. Clark telling jurors she was taken to a dilapidated building by one of Combs' bodyguards. She testified a man told her she was going to take the lie detector test to figure out what happened to Combs' jewelry. And if she didn't pass, quote, they're going to throw you in the East River. Clark says the bodyguard took her to the same deserted location on 5 consecutive days for lie detector tests. Last week, rapper Kid Cudi testified that Clark was the one who alerted him that Combs had allegedly broken into his home when he found out Cassie Ventura and Kid Cudi were dating. Kid Cudi saying Clark called him saying she was forced to go along. He also testified that he believes Combs was responsible for setting his Porsche on fire in a different instance. Members of the LA Fire and Police Departments also testifying today. Over the last 2 weeks, prosecutors have called 16 witnesses, attempting to prove Combs used violence and threats to coerce women into sex and protect his music empire. Combs has pleaded not guilty and denies sexually assaulting or trafficking anyone. His lawyers have argued that his domestic violence was driven by jealousy and drug addiction, and that his sexual activities do not amount to sex trafficking. Combs saying all sexual encounters were consensual. Now, prosecutors say they feel that the trial is right on schedule. Their case is expected to take about 6 weeks in total. David, Tanya?
Rena, who else is expected to take the stand today?
Well, we could see an arson investigator with the LA Fire Department testify as early as today. You'll remember that last week, Kid Cudi testified that he believed Combs was responsible for a car fire for setting his Porsche on fire in his Los Angeles driveway in 2012 after Combs found out about his relationship with Cassie Ventura. So the jury saw photos of that car fire, and now they'll hear from this investigator who responded to the scene. And he'll likely talk about the evidence that he saw, including the smoke and the fire damage, a burnt handkerchief, a lighter, and a bottle that was filled with liquid that smelled like gasoline. He'll also likely talk about his conclusion that this fire was set intentionally.
Rita Roy for that. Now, speaking of that Porsche that caught on fire, from MediaTakeout.com. Diddy's legal team asked for Kid Cudi testimony about Porsche explosion to be tossed out. Here's the problem with that. That was in Cassie's lawsuit. That was settled the next day, and he literally came to the trial to talk about his relationship and talked about how, Diddy said he didn't know what he was talking about. But as we found out today, in today's testimony from Capricorn Clark, that Diddy told Capricorn Clark, let's go unalive Kid Cudi, and that Diddy was going to chase Kid Cudi in a car before the police sirens came on. And now you want that testimony to be thrown out because it's not helping your boy. Okay, Sean Diddy Combs' legal team is seeking to erase Kid Cudi's explosive testimony from the record. According to Billboard, the Bad Boy mogul's lawyers filed to strike Cudi's claims about his Porsche being firebombed in 2012 after Diddy allegedly found out the Cleveland rapper was secretly dating Cassie Ventura. Last week, Cudi hit the stand and recounted the day his rise got lit up by what he described as a Molotov cocktail. He said he received a call from his dog sitter who told him your car's on fire while rushing back home. His friend texted him a photo of a vehicle in flames, which was beyond saving by the time he arrived, and the top of the car reportedly cut open. The testimony ties directly into Cassie's earlier claims that Diddy lost it when he learned that her and Cudi allegedly vowed to blow up the Man on the Moon artist's car. Cudi also testified that when he later confronted Diddy about the explosion during a meeting with Cassie at Soho House in Los Angeles, LA, the music mogul played up. I mean, Cassie is a gorgeous woman. You would the dumb fuck that guy. I mean, I swear to God, just made no damn sense. Cudi accused Diddy of lying about his knowledge of the explosion. Miss Cudi's speculation about Combs' involvement had minimal probative value, whereas the danger of unfair prejudice, particularly since he was opining about an ultimate issue as to which he was the alleged victim, whether Combs was guilty of arson, one of the charged racketeering acts, was great. His legal team wrote, his team added that his remarks should be struck from the record because the witness generally cannot testify that, in his opinion, a declarant was lying when making a statement. Really? So y'all want Kid Cudi's testimony thrown out because, like I said before, it's not looking good for your boy. The pictures were shown of Cudi's Porsche, right, being on fire, right? Stop it. And speaking of people who should stop it, Ray J, what the fuck did I tell your ass? Here it is here from U.S. Weekly. Y'all, that make no damn sense. Ray J speaks out on Diddy's ongoing trial, predicts he will get out of jail. Free Diddy. Sir, you have enough going on with Princess Love in that divorce. Okay? This is coming from the motherfucker that was upset that he wasn't invited to a sleepover. Okay, a grown-ass man was not invited to a sleepover thrown by Kai Cenat. Okay? Okay. This is the same person that talked about Sukiyana and that he could still taste her portal. Okay? This is the same dude that manipulated his children to be on his side when him and Princess Love got into an argument. Dude, you have enough going on. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Okay. Because didn't you say your sister doesn't talk to you and that really hurt you during the Club Shay Shay interview? Dude, you got bigger fish to fry. Ray J is ready to talk about Sean Diddy Combs for the first time since the rap vocals trial began. Lord Jesus. In an interview with Piers Morgan, Ray J, 44, expressed his belief that his longtime friend will soon be able to walk out jail as a free man. Diddy, 55, has not pled guilty to all charges and denied all of the allegations against him. Child, this don't make no damn sense. I personally think it's going to happen faster than a lot of people think, because I think we're all starting to see what this is, even if you're on the other side of it. Ray J shared on the Tuesday, May 27th episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored. Sir, you are not a lawyer, sir. What the fuck was that sentence? The justice system is the justice system. Where does this fit? It's off. What's off, Ray J? I don't like it. And I want to be vocal about it. So basically, you're saying the justice system is a lie, it's a cheat, and you don't want it no more. Okay, child. The first 2 weeks of Diddy's trial, the jury heard testimony from Cassie Ventura, Kid Cudi, Danny Kane's Don Richard, and more witnesses as prosecutors presented their case against the rap mogul. Some of the biggest revelations from their testimonies included new details of the video of Diddy physically assaulting Cassie, allegations that Diddy planned to harm Cudi, and claims that Diddy and escorts would relieve themselves in Cassie's mouth. Diddy was arrested in September 2024 on the charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. When asked about the court proceedings, Ray J expressed his disbelief that Diddy should be freed from jail. Honestly, I think that Diddy will get out, and I think there's nothing here. What? If somebody were to do that to your daughter, Ray J, would you have the same energy? Bruh, Princess Love is out of your weight class, motherfucker. Out of your weight class. Out of your damn weight class. What if somebody did that to Brandy, bruh? Dude. What if somebody did that to your mama? Dude. You know what? I think they made their point. Whatever they were trying to make, your point is made. Ray J, whatever point they were trying to make. Speak correctly, motherfucker. Damn. Your point is made. Now let Diddy out. Free Diddy. Oh my Lord, Ray J. Okay. Oh, you should really keep your mouth shut, but you're not going to. When asked about the ongoing trial, hang on. As Diddy's trial entered its third week on Tuesday, May 27th, multiple attorneys not affiliated with the case told NBC News that prosecutors have yet to prove the music mogul is guilty of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, the two most serious charges brought against him. One lawyer, however, reminded courtroom watchers that it is a very long trial. All the evidence doesn't come through one witness. That is facts. When asked about the ongoing trial taking place at the Daniel Patrick Marine U.S. courthouse in New York City, Ray J said it's kind of becoming a circus. Well, motherfucker, who's the main act? With all the allegations now with everyone explaining what's happening in the bedroom, I mean, every day, he said it just sounds crazier, and freakier and weirder, right? Sir, I know you're not talking. When Shannon Sharp was going through what he was going through, you said, listen, I know about some BDSM stuff. Shut the fuck up, man. Don't make no damn sense, man. The only reason why you are in Hollywood is because of Brandy. You ain't got no job, Tommy. And Tommy was more respected. He was a fictional character. Good damn. I cannot. One allegation that has been explored in the initial weeks of testimony are Diddy's alleged freak-offs. Prosecutors have described freak-offs as elaborate, produced sex performances that Diddy allegedly orchestrated and coerced others to participate in. According to Ray J, who said he attended a lot of parties with Diddy, there was never a freak-off. Okay, sir. Okay. We never use that term whenever we went to a Diddy party. He told Morgan 60, a Diddy party is where most people could get in, and the top of the top, the A-listers are out on the scene. If you don't have the proper invitation, or if you're not one of the who's of Hollywood, it's impossible to get in whatever door they're talking about, the freaky door. How the fuck did you get in there? Because you ain't an A-lister at all. You ain't even a D-lister. I mean, you on the F list for being a fucking waste of life. I will definitely say that. But, bro, do all this. You speaking on all this shit, but you said, I quote, I never got an invitation. So why the fuck are you making yourself involved in this when you don't even have a connection to it? I just can't. I can't. Never knew it existed. I feel like in my world that I'm in, and I like to party and have fun, I at least would have got an invitation. Let me read Joe's statement one more time, okay? Let me see right here. A Diddy party is where most people couldn't get in, and the top of the top, the A-listers are out on the scene. If you don't have the proper invitation, or if you're not one of the who's who in Hollywood, it's impossible to get in whatever door they're talking about, the freaky door. So you said out of your own mouth, if you're not A-lister or the who's who of Hollywood, or one of the who's of Hollywood, you didn't get an invite. But you like to party and have fun, you think that you would have got an invitation. Ray J said that he last spoke today a week and a half before it all went down, seemingly referring to the rapper's arrest. Although the trial is expected to last until late June or the beginning of July, Ray J said all the stories being presented makes him think it's the world against Diddy. Really, it's the world against Diddy? Bruh. And this motherfucker sick. Oh my God. Bruh, I just oh my God, I can't do it. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Yo, look at this shit. I want you to see this because So for those of you who don't know, he has this ratchet ass network called I think it's Dash, whatever the fuck it is. But y'all look at this shit. This.
Do you forgive somebody for taking somebody's ass? There's a lot of people out here taking from people. Not only like people are getting robbed of not only their money and their spirituality, They're getting robbed of their womanhood and manhood. Asses are being taken in ways that nobody can explain. Do you chuckle? Do you laugh? Do you help? Do you criticize? Because I see a lot of jokes out there right now talking about baby oil. Everybody got a joke about having baby oil and lube. Is that okay? Is that the message? That was funny, fam. Now what? I don't use baby oil. Lube sometimes in sex makes it better. Should I come out with Ray Y jelly and do some kind of like skit and say, KY just gave me a deal. Ray Y jelly, I got 1,000 of them. Ha 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 ha. Ray Y. That funny to you? It's not to me.
Bruh.
Because there's a victim out there that has been. Do you forgive somebody?
So that's this show called The Reality Check. He's a news anchor. Even Nicki Minaj was confused. Like, you're a news anchor? I can't do it. He said to call KY jelly and make Ray J jelly or Ray jelly. I feel for him. You know what I mean? I'm actually worried about him in this state right now because it's a dangerous world. We're just seeing a lot of things unfold and power being played as a circus act. Ray J claimed. How many more stories do we got here? I mean, this is some really freaky stuff that I think should be kept private. It's just starting to get freakier and dirtier. Maybe, Ray J, how many times you cheated on Princess Love should never happened. Okay, how about that? Could you keep private of being about your business, about your wife? Could you keep that private? Fuck no. I'm gonna turn my camera down because I can't do this shit. I'm gonna turn my camera next week. The whole show for over an hour. Yes, we have. I'm gonna tell somebody. I feel for him. All these stories coming out, just getting freakier and freakier and freakier and freakier. The hell wrong with you? Make no damn sense. I can't do it. Y'all, let me know what y'all think in the chat, because I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. I still cannot do this shit. Okay. You know what? Let's take a commercial break, because I just can't. I just can't. We'll be back right after this, everybody. Roll it.
Beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams.
no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
In Disney's 102-year history, there have been many defining moments and countless achievements. Today, we celebrate another thrilling moment, the creation of a spectacular new Disney theme park resort coming to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi is a place where heritage meets innovation, a place where we preserve our past while designing the future.
Bringing a Disney theme park resort to Yas Island, Abu Dhabi marks a historic milestone in our journey as a global family destination.
The 7th Disney theme park resort destination represents a new frontier in theme park ambitions. Our resort in Abu Dhabi will be the most advanced and interactive destination in our entire portfolio. The location of our park is incredibly unique. It's anchored by a beautiful waterfront, which will allow us to tell our stories in completely new ways. Ultimately, this project will be a celebration of what's possible when creativity and progress come together.
What we are creating with Disney in Abu Dhabi is a whole new world of imagination, an experience that will inspire generations across the region and the world.
This collaboration represents a powerful fusion of Disney's unmatched legacy in storytelling and Miral's commitment to bringing world-class entertainment to our guests.
Abu Dhabi's vision for the future is to create a legacy for generations to come.
Disneyland Abu Dhabi will be authentically Disney and distinctly Emirati. An oasis of extraordinary Disney entertainment at this crossroads of the world. It will bring to life our timeless characters and stories in many new ways, becoming a source of joy and inspiration for the people of this vast region to enjoy for generations to come.
Welcome to Universal's Volcano Bay, a new wave of theme park, a new kind of paradise. Here, time doesn't fly, it simply floats by. And when it's your time to ride, you go right to the slide. Yep, paradise works in amazing ways. You're welcome. Volcano Bay, one of 3 amazing theme parks at Universal Orlando Resort.
I'm loving it. And I'm loving y'all right back, rather. Welcome back into Braylon's Virtual Tour Live. Y'all, that was day 10 of the Diddy trial. Just, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. By the way, everybody, if you or someone you know has been sexually harassed, contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-4673. That's 1-800-656-4673. That's 1-800-656-4673. If you or someone you know is experiencing DV, please call the National DV Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-7233 for confidential support. If you or someone you know is a human trafficking victim, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-800. Sorry, not 1-800, 1-888. So 1-888-373-7888. That's 1-888-373-7888. That's 1-888-373-7888. So I'll drop that in the live chat there. But yeah, I can't with Ray J. You know, you should keep your mouth shut, bro. Just I know it's probably going to cut off. Yep, I figured as much it was going to cut off. So here you go here. So right here, right here and then right here. So it cut off, but that's the whole thing there. So just wanted to drop that in the chat. Y'all, we'll chill out here for a little bit. Don't make no damn sense, Ray J. I just can't do it, bro. That story was crazy at the top of the show, though, how the Chrisleys have been pardoned. For those of you who do not know, Todd and Julie Chrisley have been pardoned by the President of the United States today. So it looks like they will be out of jail here very, very soon, sooner rather than later. Now the Chrisleys do have a new reality show coming out, but don't know if they will be a part of it. I'm sure that, the producers are excited about this storyline coming, but oh Lord, I just don't know. I just really do not know. Hey, 3 people, welcome in. Glad to have you here. We are just chilling out here. Glad to have you here. 10th day of the Diddy trial. A very heavy day. It's, the testimony really has been matching and percolating very well with each other. All the testimonies lining up, rather. And, of course, this trial is still early. We're in week 3. Right now, as you guys know, we bring you an overall summary of the trial at the end of the day at 6 o'clock here. Just makes it a lot easier, And shout out to everybody who stays with the trial from morning all the way to the end of the trial day. That is so yeah. So. All right, y'all. That is the show. Let me get y'all the Daily Motivator up here, and then we will head on out of here. Here we go. There's only one success: to be able to spend your life in your own way. Christopher Morley. Spend all your time building your dreams, so when you get some time, you'll be able to live them. I feel that energy, my friend. It's time for Day Motivator for Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. It's always something. No matter how much you work to get caught up, an unexpected issue catches up with you. But that's okay, because you can handle it, and you will. Rather than feeling resentful about all you must deal with, realize how empowering it is. With every effort, you become stronger and more experienced. Your patience, understanding, and discipline continue to get more deeply ingrained. Life hits you with unexpected difficulties, and each time you get the opportunity to respond with the best you can be. Your mind, your muscles, and your spirit can all weaken if they're not regularly challenged. It's good to be appreciative of those challenges. Yes, it's always something. Yet in dealing with life's steady stream of issues, you're living at your best, Ralph Wilson. I appreciate this Daily Motivator, right? It's always something, because it's true. It is always something, right? Whether, you're a parent, it's your kids, having problems, whether it's your spouse having a problem, whether it's your mom, your dad, your brother, your coworkers, whoever, it's always something. Your bank account, you being a boss of your own company, it's always something going on. So the first thing I will tell you is, no matter how much you get work caught up, an unexpected issue catches up with you, that will always end up happening. Do not let the unexpected define you. You define how you move through that unexpectedness. That's the first thing I will tell you there, all right? Second thing I'll tell you is, And each time you'll get the opportunity to respond with the best you can be. A positive plus a positive equals a positive. A negative plus a negative equals a negative, right? So always remember that, because I think sometimes in life, and believe me, you, as I'm saying this to you, I'm saying it to myself, it is easy to think about the negative. It is easy to give up. It is easy to be in your own little corner, in your own little chair, being whoever you want to be. But I promise you this, I'll never forget this when Oprah did her great. And I didn't understand why it was just one solo chair, but then I recognized it. She sat in that chair, in that studio for 25 years, and the world was able to come to her, but she was not able to engage with the world. Get up out the chair and engage with the world, because guess what? You only live once, and once life is over, it's over. That's it. That's all in the story. So that's the second thing I'll tell you. And then finally, last thing I'll tell you about always something. Your mind, your muscles, and your spirit can all weaken if they are not regularly challenged. There's a scripture that says your gift will make room for you, and I've come to recognize that in my life. I was talking about the friend Bishop today about, all of the jobs that I'm applying for. And by the way, we crossed the 500,000 total view mark. So thank you all so much for that. And subscribers are climbing. And it's a good energy over here. And we love being able to get that good energy. And, in this daily motivator of it's always something, when I went about the business of moving forward in my life when it came to our channel, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was scary. You know what I mean? To do one thing and only one thing and not having any range to do anything else. Yeah, it was scary. But then I recognized, wait a minute. Well, I mean, what is Good Morning America for? What is Today for? What is CBS Mornings for? What is all these, news networks for? They cover everything else. So why not do what they do? Just do it in your own way. So if you feel like you can't move forward because you don't know if people will follow you, do what feels good to you. The people who need to know you will find you. The people who don't need to know you, they probably didn't need to be there in the first place. So with that being said, everybody, it's time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you were special, because you were always born a blessing. And trust, you may not be where you want to be. By the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Why it's one thing to call yourself, it's nothing. Chosen, one love, much love, all love. I have spent time with you. You have spent time with me. And hopefully I spend time together. Ross, be great together. And I always remember we're doing radio, television, YouTube, living your best life, or you're not being as dumb as Ray J. Make sure the replay is not just ready for you to watch it, not just ready for you to listen to it, but for you want to experience it again. I love you. I value, I embrace you all. Always remember, receive love, you gotta give it. Receive love, you gotta give it. Receive love, you gotta give it. Whatever obstacles you have overcome, whatever success you have achieved upon this particular day, I'm extremely proud of you, but no one else is proud of you. Be proud of your damn self. And finally, y'all, child, listen. Just because somebody has a microphone doesn't mean they're saying anything important, okay? Because clearly, Brandy has a career and Ray J just has a job. Be a Brandy, not a Ray J. Commercial break and fireworks coming your way for the day that was, for the day that's come, for the blessings on the way for you, me, all of us, as a society, as a people, as a culture. I feel the love and send it right back to you. Good night, everybody. Love y'all.
I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons. but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you, and you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you, and you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you, and you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal, and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams. Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, An isle of fire-breathing excitement. A shadowy world of monsters and mystery. New wonders in the wizarding world. And a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.